And So It Goes by Billy Joel. I feel I've said too much. My silence is my self-defense. And every time I've held a rose, it seems I've only felt the thorns. And so it goes, and so it goes, and so will you soon, I suppose. And if my silence made you leave, then that would be my worst mistake. So I will share this room with you, and you can have this heart to Hello everyone, I'm Shawn and welcome to my Easy Piano Lessons. Guys, if you haven't checked out the all-new webpianoteacher.com, you should. You're not going to recognize it. It's unbelievable. We've had so many improvements. The best way for you to see them is just to hop over and check it out. You can even create a profile and start watching part ones for free right now. This is Billy Joel, So It Goes. We're about to learn. I'm about to teach you the part one. If you're a member, go ahead and download the sheet. You can do that if you're a member on webpianoteacher.com, either by a sheet credit or you can just purchase the PDF outright. But it's the exact PDF that I'm going to use right here to teach you. So go ahead and do that. We'll zoom in here and get started here on the part one. So it is not too difficult to play as technically. You want to put a lot of expression in it and feeling. But as far as just playing the chords, it's not too hard. It's in the key of C. So let's get started here. Let's take a look at the first little pickup measures here. Let me get a little drink here before we get started. All right, so we have our pickup notes here. We'll start with middle C on the right hand, okay? And then we'll have a C chord right after that, G, C, E. If you've ever played Let It Be by the Beatles, that's the chord right there that you start with. So G, C, E, it's a C chord. Left hand will have a C in the bass. Then we'll move up to an E in the left hand. And then we'll have B, C, G in the right hand. A lot of people don't realize these subtle ways that Billy plays his chords. Yes, it's a simple chord, but he puts, the way he arranges it and voices it are so unique and so important to the sound that he gives. So I paid really close attention to that to make sure I voiced it the way that he does it. So let's take a look here what that first part sounds like. So we'll go to the side view here. All right, and we'll just take a listen. That's our first all right, so let's look how to play that. That's what it says. Now let's take a look at how to play it. The right hand will start with the middle C, right here in the middle of the piano. So we have our overhead view. I love this view. You can also see the pedal. Can you see the pedal there, Shauna? My wife is in the studio with me, and she produces everything. So we have to do it all together now, which is great. G, C, E, and then we're going to move up to this. So it is a C chord, but he's got that B in there. Hear how that changes the sound? B, C, G. So I'll start with my 2-finger on C. Bum, bum, bum. Okay? And this is not metronomic at all. It's not bum, 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 1 and 2 and 3. It's not like that at all. It's by feel. It's like he's just writing the song on the spot. Da, 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 breath, and then da, 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 da. It just kind of floats along. So you want to have that feel from the very beginning. So those are the first 3 chords. Let's put our left hand with it. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. So there are pickup notes. Great. So you can do the first part. Wonderful. All right. So now the next measure here, we have an F chord. We have C, G, A. Now normally an F chord has F, A, and C in it, but this has that G in there. It gives it this sound instead of just this. Hear that? So you go from that B, C, G to the C, G, A. It sounds really beautiful. It has just a certain sound that he captures with that. So C, G, A in the right. Now this parentheses here, because sometimes he plays that and sometimes he doesn't. This first time he does not. So we're going to leave out the CF, and I'll explain the parentheses up here later when we come back on the repeat. Now, the next 2 chords are golden. Why? Because you already know how to play them right here. Or this one you do at least. And, oh, actually this one too. Here they are. Bum, bum. It just repeats those 2. Okay, and then the last one, he just does B and G and a G in the left hand. All right, so let's take a look at that second box there, and then we'll learn it and then add it to the pickup notes. So we have, it sounds like this. Bum, bum, bum. And I'll go ahead and play the chord of the next measure so you can hear that. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so that's what it sounds like. Let's take a listen to how to play it. So on the iPad there you can see C, G, A. All right, you just came from B, C, G with 1, 2, 5. Now 1, 4, 5 there, and left hand's on an F. Later on you go bum, 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 but not this time. Now we go back to the chord we came from, B, C, G, and left hand on an E. And then C, G, A after that with an F in the left hand. And then bum, bum. So that B and G will be with 1 and 5. Left hand will be with a G. All right, now, if you look at my pedal here, when I go back and forth between the pedal, we'll look at the pedal in just a minute, but you want to catch the chords. You don't want to have your pedal go up and down with your hands. That's what everybody does automatically when they start. But you don't do anything doing that because there's no sustain. Your pedal's going right with your hands. It doesn't do anything. You want to catch the chords. We're using the pedal in this song mainly to connect, not to hold one chord over another, but to connect the chords. Pedal is mostly used for connecting on the piano. So let's take a look at that on the pedal. You can see in the overhead view, when I play the first note, I start with my pedal down. Then when I play, the pedal's going to go up, down. So that's a good way to start trying to use the pedal. Go up, down. And then when you play the next chord, up, down, up, down, up, down. See that? Most people want to do this when you start. You want to go with your hand, and that doesn't do anything. See all those spaces in there? So I want to connect it. So that's what the pedal will be used for. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So get your heel on the floor and just your toes going to come up. So that's that first part that we've learned just now. Let's do it again. Here we go. Now, we've made that. So now let's go to the next measure there. Ba, da, 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 da. So we have, this is a great arrangement because it has the melody in the right hand. So what he's singing is in the right hand, but it's not one of those cheesy piano arrangements with melody in the right hand. It actually is the song. So you're really playing what Billy Joel's playing and you're playing the melody. Plus, you guys who like to sing, this is in the low register. I had really trouble singing it because it's so low. I don't have a low voice. But it's in the wheelhouse of most average male voices, so you should be able to sing this very easily, if you're trying to impress a girl or something. So, my wife's laughing. You know it works. All right. Okay. So, we have A minor here on your left hand. So the octave is broken up. The right hand's going to have B, D, E. So we have another way where he's just kind of making those chords a little bit different to sound neat. You know, an A minor just going to have A, C, E in it, but he's got B, D, E as a suspended, and then he resolves to the A minor right there. So that's really neat. And then the next little part there, da 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 da. All right, we go from a G chord to a C chord 2 times. So you have 2 parts to this measure. You have this, da 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 da, and that's the second part. So let's take a listen to what it sounds like. All right, just that one measure we have. Now here's another example where he plays the A most every other time. This first time I don't hear it, but later I do hear it. So, but later he goes bum, bum, A, like that. But this first time I just hear. All right, and this is from the live version, the official, you know, video on YouTube. You can look that up. That's what I'm going from. It's my favorite version as well. Okay, so after we play that A minor, we have B. Well, let's look how to play it. I haven't shown you how to play it yet. B, D, E, 2, 4, 5 in the right hand. Remember, you just came from 1 and 5 on the B, G. I'm going to scoot the iPad view over a little bit. Okay, B, D, E with 2, 4, 5, left hand on low A, and then A with a thumb, and then E, A, C. So 1. When you play the E, A, C, play it with 1, 2, 4. So you have 1 and 2. Then an A maybe if you want to play it. And then da-da, da-da. Let's look at that part. You just played. All right, and so we have G, D in the right. I'll play 1 and 3 for that. And then G, C, E with 1, 2, 4. You also don't want to pound this. Don't go. Just easy. You want it light, okay? So as you go to that C chord, G, C, E with 1, 2, 4, bum, bum, ba, bum. All right, and the pedal, watch my pedal. You got to be nimble with the pedal. Your heel's on the floor and just your toe. And you don't need to go all the way down with the pedal if you're doing it on acoustic piano. All right, just keep it. You'll learn, you know, the little subtleties of your pedal that you have. You don't. It doesn't have to be all the way up or all the way down, but you have to go quickly with it. That'll help you connect it. So that whole measure is 1. Very good. Okay, now the next thing we do, we've learned one little link in the chain. We've learned another little link in the chain. We're going to put it together. Some of you are advanced piano and you're going, hey, come on, let's just learn the song. But many of you are beginners, and I want to make sure you guys are covered. Okay, I have a series that I did on the website that's brand new. It's my all-new 50 Easy Piano Lesson series, and it's designed to help all of you beginners, all of you who feel like you have holes in your experience, you're missing some things as far as knowing what scales are, chords, rhythms, how to get your hands playing together, and you just need some direction. So that these 50 lessons, I poured 30 years of experience of teaching private lessons to people of all ages into this, and it's an all-encompassing deal. I have scales, I have chord lessons, I have ear training, I have fun songs to learn to play while we're doing this, and it's all comprehensive. And if you need some beginner lessons, that's on the site. All right, so I'm trying to keep you guys in mind, you beginners, when we're doing this, but you learn a link in the chain, you learn another link in the chain, and then you put them together, and you practice that little part, and then you move on when you're ready. Instead of trying to get the whole song at one time, which can be frustrating, we don't want to bite off more than we can chew, right? We have here a little and there a little, and then we finally will learn the whole thing. So let's put together what we've learned so far, which is, let's see, this amount right here. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning, and just so you can see the board, we're going from here to there. All right, so let's take a listen. I'll just play it through and you can hear it. All right. All right, very good. Okay. Let's do a little more for this part one. Bum, bum, ba-dum. And then we'll finish the phrase. So you'll at least be able to finish the phrase. Da, da. How do I do da, 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 da? I'll at least give you that part. I won't leave you hanging on the phrase. Okay, so da 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 dun dun da da. So the way I boxed this off, I didn't do measures because he has some different beats. There's not a common beat for each measure, so I just did it in phrases. So this whole box is one thought to me. Bump bump. So we're here, and we're going to have this chord that we already know how to do, B C G. We already know. Let's see. Now that one's different. Okay, it's A C G. Left hand is an F. It's an F chord. Here is a neat sounding chord. Has some dissonance to it. Then it resolves. A dissonance chord is usually followed by a consonance chord, a chord that resolves the dissonance. And there we go. So a G chord right there. So we end on a imperfect cadence there in our phrasing. So let's take a look at those last 1, 2, 3, 4 chords. All right, this is what it sounds like. All right. And that's the rhythm. Bum, bum, ba-dum. Sometimes the rhythm is a little bit different according to what lyrics he's singing. So if he needs, to go a little faster on 2 chords because he's singing the word silence or something, then you have to be aware of that. That's why those little curved lines are there in parentheses, because sometimes the lyrics need to match the speed at which you play the chords, or the chords need to match his lyrics. So those 4 chords, let's look at how to play it now. So you can see on the iPad there. The iPad view is pretty cool because we didn't plan on that. It just kind of happened. And also the pedal, we were like, hey, we can learn pedal now. So that was really neat that the iPad is just the right tool to do this with. And then it sits right here neatly on the stand. Well, we have B, C, G, which you already know, left hand on an E. And then we have A, C, G, left hand goes to F. And then da-da. So F, C, E. Okay, it almost sounds like a wrong chord when you do it all by itself, but it's right. Left hand on an F. And then G, B, D with 1, 2, 4. So my fingering will help me make it legato or smooth. That's a fancy word for smooth. Legato, it's Italian. 5, 4, ba, ba. Because if you did 5, 5, you have a little space because you have to lift your finger up. Da, da. But if you can do 5, 4, da, da, and you can smooth it a little bit. Also the pedal, let's do the view for the pedal. See? My pedal can catch that and connect the 2 chords that way, okay? So let's do that little part again. Bum, bum, bum. Again. Bum, bum, bum. All right? You'll see sometimes I'm playing octaves on the left hand, sometimes single notes, and I'll change it up. So does Billy Joel when he plays it. So that kind of can be up to you, a little personal choice, whether you want to do an octave sometime or not. Well, let's try the whole first line now. All right. Let's see. All right, so here's the first line. Here we go. Okay, so check out webpianoteacher.com. All the lessons for this are on the site, and you can download the sheet. And there are lots of other Billy Joel songs that I've done over the years, so you can just have a Billy Joel weekend if you want to, learning songs. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Talk to you later.